So look in front of you.
Ooh, there we go. Alright.
So you're going to be able to record what's on screen. Hold on.
Yeah, that's cool. So I can actually, and I can just swing, yeah?
Yep.
That's it? Alright.
There you go.
Can I move or no?
Yeah, you can move.
Oh.
Yeah, you can hit him. Oh shit! Don't move that close.
Who did I just...
He's hit the wall. He's gonna come towards you.
Just finished up the Alley kickoff meeting. So Alley is the space we're in. We're working with a team. They're literally upstairs, which is nice. So we just found out they needed help last week. Turned around a deal, started this week. We need a whole new marketing site up for them to be done within 3 weeks and launched, which is a very tight timeline.
And what he found when he came in here, and I'm going to close this full circle, is it didn't match. He walked in here, and I'm just going to speak for you a second, and he's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is an amazing energy, which doesn't portray, it's not portrayed properly in our digital assets. There's a disconnect. We look boring and simple in our website, we look like every other co-working space, and now we need to push the needle.
But for these guys, you know, this is was my first office, was in this space. This is where I grew the company, so I have a particularly personal tie to the space. So I was like, all right, fuck it, we'll just do it. We'll get it done in 3 weeks for you. After kind of like the deal is done, at this point, you know, I stay in the kickoff meeting. I try not to say too much, but then after this, it's kind of like I'm hands off. I'll do a check-in with the team, you know, 30 minutes a week or something, just to make sure things are on track. If there's anything I can help with it, you know. So I'm not too stressed, but let's see how these guys feel.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think the sitemap, you know, that's all fairly straightforward. The funnels are straightforward. Okay. The one thing that jumped out at me was just like the digital style is just kind of, it seems kind of lacking.
But anyways, I'll let you guys handle that part.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I think a few of those pages are going to end up combining.
Yeah, however you guys want. That's what I'm saying. Whatever I put in there is completely meant as like, that was my 30-minute like, because they were like, hey, we have 30 pages we want all this stuff, and I was like, all right, let's do this, send it out, starting point. Yeah, however you guys want to do it. So, So yeah, it's about to sync up with Lauren on the team about an existing project we have going on. And like a check-in. Are we up?
Yeah. Hey.
Ready? Actually, let me run to the bathroom really quick. Sorry. This is like awful. Hang on.
The big thing for the folks with Sprint was adding the capability of being able to have a non-subscription product to their current. It just wasn't there before. So being able to add non-subscription based products, we did all that goes into doing that. That was done. Also created the first period kit page. So create another product page. And then the big thing was, besides being able to create the functionality of actually adding a non-subscription product, was the cart update.
Because all the small stuff, I trust that you're, like the schedule.
Yeah.
For what was supposed to be done, how are we like, is
Fine.
everything, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
fine.
cool.
Also, just so you know, as a process, what we did was I did like, some user QA, and then also Anthony did a full QA of the work for last night for Sprint 1. So that's what we're also fulfilling. So
all right.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's
yeah, the actual deadlines and stuff, as long as like we're hitting on like
they're gonna do
what's in them, like I trust you.
Okay, I know how much stuff you want.
No. The details of like the actual sprints and all that, it's more like high level. Okay, we're doing design development, cool. We're doing analytics. I'm more actually interested in like the growth and the analytics stuff, and how we can like take that to other stuff. And then also with process of the QA and whatever, like if you're refining it at all, it's more like the process shit that I care about, not so much like the
what we're working on.
Yeah, because like like the anything else?
No, I think so.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Is that
Dude,
catch?
You coffee level down.
I know, right? I'm like fucking wired right now.
You probably
like,
need food.
That's what the thing is. I need some food because I'm
I
like.
need something. There's
I spoke to my friend who we're actually going to go see right now. He does a lot of virtual reality work. He's been doing it for a while. I actually met him at a hackathon, and you know, has since become a friend of mine. And so he hit me up initially because he's like, how can I start distributing and the stuff he's doing, and then also trying to monetize it. So I gave him some ideas. We talked for an hour on strategy, and because what he's trying to really do is get in with larger companies to help work with them and essentially do what we're doing at JAKT, but do it with VR. But it would be more in the realm of, and what I mean by the same thing is providing like a service. So virtual reality is very interesting to me. It is coming. It's not like a question of like if, it's just when. Right now, due to cost of hardware, you know, that's one reason why it's just like mass adoption just isn't there. So it doesn't make sense for us, like when we're working with customers, to like build a solution on virtual reality always. However, I think what's super interesting for virtual reality today is with experiential marketing. I think there's definitely opportunities there. And then number two is I think there's business opportunities where it's more B2B things, where it can be, you know, say you're training I'm making this up right now, I don't know, it's like having a doctor train in virtual reality versus like having a live patient, or I don't know, I think training could be a very interesting place for virtual reality. Or real estate is also very interesting, like visualizing a building so that you don't actually have to go see it. I think that's really interesting. And then also gaming. I think gaming is like first and foremost where the majority of people will use it. Think of like VR arcades even. I don't know if they exist. He was saying they do, but like that was one idea. So we're gonna talk some about that. And then also I have some ideas about how it can actually fit into what JAKT's doing. Yeah, sorry,
How's it going? Hello, NNA. What's going on? Come on down.
I'm excited to see this thing.
So welcome. We're going to my little office, but we're gonna go to the meeting first because we're planning the whole meetup thing that I was talking about. So we're trying to get that ready, and I definitely will show you Knockout VR. Yeah. So everything's going to be an engine. This is on the I don't know, you got that alley. I don't know. Jason's going to be upset. Yeah.
Oh, for me coming here to.
If Jason's watching this, hi Jason. It's been a while, bro. Let me know when you're free. Come by alley. What's up?
As I started, my company is called JAKT, JAKT. Started in 2012, and the way I started it was before that I'd always been starting my own little businesses, and they were always like tech-based, but I was using like other people's platforms to like grow on, and I wanted to be able to control it, meaning like I taught myself how to code so I could actually like build my own shit, because like then I can control like what the product is. But then I didn't have anything like specifically that I wanted to build at the time, and then so I started just helping other companies. So consulting with startups mainly, because we're in New York, helping them on their like business strategy, product, and then also actually building what they were doing, and I turned that into a company. So it started with mainly like web development, so that's what I started with. Then we moved into mobile, so iPhone, Android. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, I'm always thinking, all right, what's next? Where are we going? Yeah. And that's why I'm really interested in like connected devices, VR, AR, etc. And then before that, I was like, I did some event stuff and whatever, you know, so I was basically like, I ran a little events business, and then also I didn't like how it didn't scale, so long story short, I was able to like build like a little network, and I hacked some shit together to basically reduce my time to be very little and like make the maximum amount of money from it. But I didn't want to be in the event business my whole life. Like my whole thing that I really like doing is just like taking a really interesting problem and solving it with technology. And so I decided to build my whole company out of that.
That's cool.
Meaning like, you know how like a normal brunch that you would run on a Saturday or Sunday, but the spin on it is that people can go there and actually play like a virtual reality game. So it's kind of like themed essentially. Wondering, and it's something like new, I mean it's very unique and different, and I'm wondering if you can help you know, find a space that would work for that, and also do something that doesn't cost a lot, because it's really about the virtual reality and like getting that out there. And the initial idea, they were gonna like throw it at a similar space to Alley. It was at a WeWork, and I was thinking it would be really cool to like actually do it at a brunch location, so that it's more of an experience. But I don't know if there's any venues that you know of that could like host something like this.
How many people are you thinking?
It's 20 to 100.
It could be anything from like 20 to 100, depending on how much it's marketed.
If you get a venue by yourself, exclusive, it's gonna guarantee.
No, yeah. We have to guarantee a head count, right?
Yeah. Why don't you put it together and I'll get back to you on Monday though.
Okay, cool. Let me do that.
Email me all the details and I'll get back to you in a couple of days.
Alright, thanks. Yeah, the other way it is you guarantee a head count, and therefore like the people there that are spending, bar spend, so then they also give you the venue for free.
Okay.
Right. Hey man, just want to let you know I'll be there in like 30 seconds. Alright, thank you. Probably be a couple minutes, but you know. We have to go to Broadway. That's pretty dope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that as a whole can get squished into a product sprint, and all of that is in cycle for our process. Here, so we're looking at right in the beginning. If you were to land on the process page, what is the first question you have there is like, what's most important? What's most important to the success of the product, aka product strategy? How do we do this? That, in and of itself, I'm assuming is the question you get all the time. That one, as well as what is your process?
So,
right?
yeah, I'll say the most common, yeah, it's like, what is your process?
Yeah.
The most important to a sale is the first one, because they're like, why can't I just hire a developer over here or whatever here? Like, why would they use us? It's basically why us, and that's why.
Yeah. So to me, I think like if I were to go to the process page, that's the first thing I want to see. Our homepage doesn't need any of the stuff it currently has. It needs to show samples.
Because what do we have now?
Right now we have like our whole.
This is just
it's very text heavy. First of all, it's very very text heavy. And I mean, we made this more to showcase our brand.
No.
But like as a user, I mean, like I don't want to sit and read all this. I want to see pictures. First and foremost.
Or it's at the bottom, because I will say that the feedback I have gotten is actually people like that. Funny enough.
All of this?
Yeah, I mean the feedback's actually been like, we like your site is very clean. That said, I do think there should be a mix between one, adding samples for sure.
Yeah.
And then two, adding like the what. Like we say, okay, we build, we did an offering design development, but like getting into like, hey, here's like some samples. We do web, we've done mobile, and then we can throw on some VR, whatever we decide we want to throw on there. But like those examples are definitely because people say like, okay, cool, so you do this, because I explain it, and they're like, okay, but like, so you build iPhone apps or whatever, and it's like, if I can just like get that out of the way, but we do all of it. So I don't know how to convey that, because it is so much different. So people that we're like competing against are either design agencies, development agencies, design and development agencies. They're not even that they're offering this, they might, but like they're not integrating that into the process. So we're thinking the entire time about how do we actually convert people better, how are we going to market this product, because it shapes everything we do. I don't know how to convey that, but like I want to somehow do that.
Do you think that has to do with like displaying where each sprint is along the UJC?
Well,
user journey curve.
to me, each sprint though is really like the foundation. The way I look at the, let me write this out really quick. Right, so you have, and this is what like the article basically said. You have, so you have acquisition, and then retention. So this curve works once a product is built. Right, so you have product V1 built, right? Then you're saying, how am I going to acquire users? How do I convert them? and then how do I retain them?
Right.
But before you can do all this, you need a product.
Yeah.
But if you're also thinking about all of these 3 things while you're building the product, it'll make your life easier up here. What people do that fucks it up is they build this and then they're like, shit, now let me try and acquire, convert, retain. It can't be an afterthought. It needs to be thought of like during this process. And so when we build projects from scratch, that's why it's nice to have this growth segment here, is because we can be thinking about this. So, but to me, this is like part of conversion. Like you can't convert anyone if your product, like you like, that's the basis of all of this. The base of everything we do, and maybe this is actually how we diagram it. The base is product, but then we're thinking about all of these 3 things while we're building the product, and then after, then we're focused on that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be an interesting little like thing. It's like these influence this is a foundation, but then we're thinking about those 3 things and then iterating on and then we iterate on the product based on the results from this. And it's like this big fucking loop, and it just keeps going and going and going. Now I don't know how to represent that or explain that to people without like, you know, when I explain to people like sitting down in a room on a board, they're like, cool, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's how do we explain that with, does that make sense though, how I'm explaining it?
Yeah, I think that needs to live. That's the intro, that's the welcome of our process.
Yeah.
Because if someone reads that first, then anything else they read, they jump back to, okay, this ties back into like that, our thesis.
Yeah. It's basically like, product is the foundation to everything we do, and that's why we run the product sprint. We figure out why you're existing as a company, what's the best way to get to a problem to a solution, and that's like what we're really good at, is that product strategy.
Yeah.
But then when we're thinking through like building the product, we're always considering acquisition, conversion, and retention, which is like growth, because you don't want to just launch a product and like then have to think about these things, because it's not the right approach. And then once the product is, you know, once we have like a V1 out and we're starting to get users, we're then optimizing acquisition, conversion, and retention, which then feeds back into improving the product.
Yeah.
I know you gotta run.
Yeah.
So I can send
this like the plan so far that I've been working on works with you.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. Run that by, you know, that diagram there. Like trying to figure that out. That's really like, we have to get that right, because that's really like how I explain things. And I don't know when you're like ready for that. Let me see how that.
Okay.
Let's talk through that. Or when you have something. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Let me see what.
Do you like plan this out the night before?
No,
Where are those
it's
shoes
actually
from?
like, they're Kohan. They're great. They're
I
like,
like the bottoms on
they're
them.
like sneakers.
They have Nike Air Bubbles.
Yeah,
It's really cool. They're like sneakers. So like when I'm running
They're, like,
around
super comfortable.
late for meetings, I can actually run.
Yeah, that's awesome. I need to get some of those.
I actually joke with
Making 2 stops right now. One, we're going to drinks with a current client of ours. 3 people from the team, 3 or 4 people from the team already with them. They just had a meeting with them, weekly update meeting, and now Mike and I are gonna go meet them, have drinks with them, and after that, Mike and I are gonna make a second stop at another bar to go see a friend of ours who does a once a week or once a month or something, some sort of meetup where he brings people together around drinks. I've never been. Mike told me about it today, so we're gonna check that out. And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. There's Mike. There he is.
I hate when he does that. That was like that. That was like that. That was a cute.
I know, but why am I not in the loop on it beforehand? Like, why am I only finding?
We had this discussion last week.
No, but it was always, we had the discussion after you and him already had the discussion.
Right, and then you already brought it to me saying, hey, this is an issue, and I said, okay, cool, I understand it.
It's principles over paper. Real ones over fakers. I don't even trust my neighbors, always going nutty like the trap booming on my page. The only time I drop dimes when we cutting joints off.